DynamoDB is serverless but bit complicated to understand and deal with, especially when it comes to doing simple familiar operations like DML and DDL. Then it's bit sort of cryptic to do it through AWS CLI or even from the console or through API. One of the tool which I normally use in order to manage and to do operations on DynamoDB is called as DynamoDB Shell. DynamoDB Shell is an open source tool from AWS, and primarily it's an interactive command line interface to deal with DynamoDB. You can perform data definition language (DDL) and data manipulation language, which is DML, operations through DynamoDB Shell. And just recently, you can also do some DDL manipulation on global table operation with the help of DynamoDB. What are DynamoDB global tables? I'll be discussing them in a separate video, but let's for this video focus on just the DynamoDB shell. On your screen, you can see that there are few commands. From line number 1 to line number 16, these commands are used to install the DynamoDB shell. I will also put the link to DynamoDB source code and these repositories in the video's description. But as it's an open source tool and it's on best effort basis, so be ready to do some manual compilation and other stuff on the Linux systems in order to make it work. I wish that AWS or any other resource would make it easy to implement because it's such a useful tool, but installing it and configuring it initially is a pain in the back. Anyway, after we are done with whinging, let's start installing it. Um, I have installed it on Amazon Linux 2, and on Amazon Linux 2, it is again bit cryptic to install, but let's get right into it. Before you start installing DynamoDB shell, there are few prerequisites which need to be met. You need to have Git installed, which I did on line number 2. Then you need to install AWS CLI version 2, which I'm doing from line number 3 to 5, and then adding the path to the local path so that I won't have to give the full path to AWS CLI. Then you need to configure the AWS CLI with your IAM user or whatever you're using, if that's SSO. Next step is to install CMake. Now, when you install CMake like this, it doesn't really it installs it, but it misses installing C++ compiler, which you need the GCC one. In order to do that separately, instead you could just install the development tools from the group. With this command on line number 9, it installs a lot of things. Then you need to install these OpenSSL and other Pulse Audio Libs development packages with GEP on line number 10. Then install the CLang or Clang as some people call it. Afterwards, clone this GitHub repository and then build it. Once that's done, you have completed all the steps as a prerequisite and your DynamoDB shell is ready to use. Okay, next, there are few examples which I have shown here where you can use DynamoDB shell. As I mentioned, this is only on as is basis, best effort basis, and it can Dynamo with the DynamoDB shell you can delete and update and insert and create tables, and these operations are irreversible. Okay, now as you can see, if you just run ddbsh, which is a CLI command for DynamoDB shell, it gives you the version. Once that's done, you can connect to your region. In this one, I'm going to connect with AP South 1. By default, it connects to US East 1. From line number 27 to 28, I am just creating a table with a primary key, and it gives, once it's created, it gives me the output of create. Similarly, with this command on line number 32, you can insert data into the above table. Then you can select it on line number 36. So familiar SQL command which you are running from DynamoDB shell. Then I'm performing some another DML with update command, and then show table shows you the tables here with different stuff. Once that's done, you can also do some explain on the DynamoDB shell. And with the explain command, I'm just saying what's exactly happening under the hood with DynamoDB shell. So I hope you can appreciate the utility of DynamoDB shell. If you have any questions or feedback, please put them in the comments. Thank you.